Okay, so this is my first attempt at collecting the thought, basically my pitch or my case for religion, specifically Christianity and Jesus Christ. Okay, so my basic idea here is that it requires so little, and uh, basically it's only upside, and there's actual measurable upside, and then there's the potential upside. Whereas the worst case scenario is you got some of the positive benefits from Christianity and Jesus's teachings, uh, and it wasn't true, and so you got some of these benefits, and no big deal. Um, and then on the flip side of that, basically the worst case is it's just, well, that's the worst case scenario. That is the worst case scenario. Best case scenario is you get all these benefits and the uh, eternal protection from evil, immortality, living with, you don't have to believe in that. That's fine. I think it makes a case for itself, whether it's true or not. So, yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, so I argue Jesus is love. He basically preaches love and forgiveness of all people, and I think that anyone would agree that if everybody followed the teachings of Jesus Christ, regardless of its, if it's possible to do or anything like that, if everyone actually believed and followed the teachings of Jesus, the world would be a better place. If you don't agree with that, then just go away because you're dumb. So, continuing based on the idea that simply following the teachings of Jesus, if everyone did it, we would be in a better place as a society globally. Um, now, and basically, what it is, if you want to think about it this way, is religion is, there are different ones, and they're basically programs to run for successful civilization, humanity. And the reason it's so important is because we are thinking beings with social needs and need for meaning and purpose, uh, and religion has that built in immediately. It gives people, not everybody needs that. You're right, but a lot of people do, and so we could just all have these beliefs that are meant for a harmonious society, or we could just be like, well, it's not possible, so I'm just gonna not try, which I think is a terrible reason not to try. Okay, so we have the meaning crisis. Not like there's a lack of meaning in society today, and you can see how that shows up. Meaning built in, um, and then just to kind of go back to the power of belief. So we agree that if everyone believed, followed Jesus, it would be a better place. Then to compound on top of that, you have the fact that you can literally measure the effect of enough people believing in one direction or uh, thinking in one way, that it has an effect on reality, a real physical effect on reality when you have more people seeing a common story, having a common truth. So and that ties in with the egregores, where like Santa Claus, for all intents and purposes, Santa Claus is real because we all behave as though he's real and based on his rules, which are magic. So it's like you can't really question it. Then he's just real, and I mean you're not going to catch him, right? Because he's Santa. He's just too good for us, and as long as we all continue to behave as though he's real, he will remain that way to a large degree. Now, there's not a whole heck of a lot of benefit to that one, but that's just sort of letting you know how that's possible. Another easy example to see something like this is when 9/11 happened. Soon after that year, the Patriots won the Super Bowl and became the greatest NFL franchise in NFL history. And then, in '06, Katrina hit, and then New Orleans won. Never even sniffed that before. It's just when enough people are putting their thoughts and emotions in one direction, it does have an effect on things. So if we agree that it could be better if we all believed, and we know that if we all believed it would have an effect on reality, I think that goes a long way to make my point here. But we're not done yet because there are plenty of other benefits. So just from a standpoint of following Jesus. Jesus is love, and he is also perfection. And as humans, we can never be perfect. We can only strive to be more like Jesus every day, which is built-in purpose, a goal to always have, uh, so that you're not becoming stagnant and hopeless and lost without a sense of meaning or a goal, because they're just already built in. You don't have to even do the work to find out what you want for a goal or what you're hoping to get. It's just one that's there to provide that base. Hey, at least as long as you have that, it's better than nothing, because then you end up with this hollow reality of confusion and fear. Um, so then prayer is already measurable. It reduces stress and anxiety. It's good for having a sense of connection and purpose to the higher power. Again, built-in meaning, which is a far bigger deal than I think anybody really would would let you believe. Having faith is a good thing. Placing your trust in God, a higher power, it would help reduce over analyzing, second guessing yourself. Takes the stress of lots of little decisions and thoughts throughout the day that you might get hung up on if you didn't have the uh, overarching theme of reality that God will take care of you and has a plan for everything. Believe it or not, that's also harnessing the power of placebo, because you can get the power of placebo by believing that. Even if it's only the placebo, that is also measurable effects for just simply believing. And you say, well, I can't believe, I can't get myself to believe. What do I do? Well, ask for forgiveness, because that's how it's set up. Um, it's about forgiveness, and that's, if you hold on to hate or anger or anything like negative emotions, that's bad for you, will kill you. So it's just a lot of positive behaviors that have good effects on your health and life. Not only that, it helps you just keep a positive outlook. And then religion encourages closer families and community, which nothing wrong with that. I don't care why you're doing it. Getting together once a week with people in your community, your family, that's a great thing. People don't do things in person enough anymore, and it's having negative effects. So basically, like, it requires such little effort. You simply just live a certain type of way, which you're probably already, whether you're religious or not, you're living mostly that way. For whatever reason, why not just have it be for Jesus instead of whatever reason you have that doesn't actually matter? And I say that because it doesn't. If it's your personal belief, it has no bearing on anyone that could be positive. It's just for you, and that's fine and everything. But when you consider the potential way things could possibly be, I mean, you almost have to think that religion and these things didn't happen for no reason. They're not there just because of nothing. So there's already a pretty decent chance that, maybe there's something to this. So it couldn't hurt. I never liked that, like, why don't you just be safe? Because that doesn't feel genuine to me. But I realized that it almost, with being able to ask for forgiveness, it's almost giving you, like, it's giving it to you. You don't even have to, you can't do it wrong. You almost, like, you really got to actively try to not do it. And that's the only way you can ruin it. So I say that even just pretending is better than not. Because there are plenty of benefits you're going to get, whether it's real or not. And then there's the ultimate potential, which the worst that can happen there is nothing. But it could also be everything. But then if you insist on defying God because you have some difference in belief or whatever, it's probably not that big a deal. But the only thing it's doing is introducing a risk for you and your family, if you're the head of your family. It's only introducing potential risk, which may be nothing, but it could be everything. And then your little belief that you have to have, what does that do for you or anyone other than just you like it? Because that, I think, is actually selfish. And I think if you actually cared about humanity and the future of humanity, or the future of your family at the very least, I would say that following Jesus is a no-brainer, even if you're just pretending, because it's better for everyone, absolutely everyone.